Hello, my name is Marcia Johnson. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Together with my nieces and nephew, grandnieces and nephew, Allie, Ashley, and Ryan, we are Marcia's Crafts. Today we're going to make this All My Love birthday card, which at the end I will show you can easily be transformed into a Valentine. Let's get going. First, I'm not gonna talk about the measurements and the supplies. Those will be listed under the video, but I do wanna show you the stamp sets that we'll be using. For the birthday card, it'll be Forever Lovely, actually for the Valentine too, and Itty Bitty Birthdays. We're gonna use this image, the leaf image, Wishing You a Lovely Day, this rose leaf, and in the Itty Bitty Birthdays, we're going to be using Birthday Wishes. We will also use this Lovely Flowers Edgelits die set. We'll just be using this image here. And we'll be using a lace embossing folder. Okay, let's get going. First thing we're going to do is block stamping. We'll do the envelope, the inside of the card. I think that's it. Okay, so we're going to be using the flower and the leaf. And let's do the envelope. Well, we can do both of them at the same time. The trick with this kind of stamp, I don't think it's a distinctive, but it's almost like a distinctive stamp. And you just don't want your stamp pad to be too inky. It's better if it's not quite so inky. So just use a very light touch. And then I'm going to stamp this down in the corner here. See how pretty that is? If you use too much, it just kind of blobs. Actually, that still looks pretty good, but trust me on this. If you use too much ink, it really kind of does not look so nice. Okay, and then we're gonna put this in the bottom right-hand side of our inside liner. See, actually that's a little darker than I like, but it's okay. Then we're gonna take Old Olive. By the way, that other one was Calypso Coral. My ink pads are still fairly new and they are kind of difficult to open sometimes. And then we're gonna do a few leaves on either one. Again, light touch. Do one leaf up here and maybe, no, two down here and one up here. There, it's our envelope. And for the inside of the card, I like to do one towards the top here and maybe two at the bottom. Actually, it'd probably be better to stamp these on a Pierce mat, but I've got a bunch of paper under here and it seems to be doing fine. There we go. So that's our inside. Done. Well, not quite done, but almost. Okay, now we need our Stamparatus to come in. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, we will be using the Stamparatus plus the foam pad. And I'm gonna use a piece of our grid paper. If you don't have this grid paper, any paper will do. To do this card, I'm going to take our other piece of Whisper White and I'm going to lay it down on the Stamparatus here, and I'm going to draw around it so that I know exactly where I'm putting this. So let's see, I've already done that, so yeah, we just need to know exactly where we're gonna go and make sure that it stays there, because it's very important to line everything up with the Stamparatus and have the paper be in the same place every time. Because I plan on making a bunch of these cards and I don't wanna have to do this more than once. I found that it was easier to do the leaves first. So that's what I did. And I've already lined them up where I wanted them. Going to put my plate back, ink it up in Old Olive, and I made pretty much of a mess of the ink all over, but it's not going to matter. We're going to stamp this down, and there's our image. Put that away. Then what I would do is I would take the flower stamp and I would lay it over my, well, I would actually put a piece of clear acrylic over that. Then I would lay this flower stamp over where I think I want it, pick it up on my plate, and with the overlay, the clear overlay in place, stamp it down and see if it looks correct, and then adjust it until you get it where you want. That just saves a lot of paper and a lot of frustration, but I've already lined it up. So I'm going to ink this up in Calypso Coral, and again, light touch. And we're gonna stamp that down. And it doesn't have to be perfect, close to perfect as you can get it. Okay, that's it for the Coastal Cabana. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my greeting. And for my greeting, I used birthday wishes from the Itty Bitty Greetings. And I've already lined that up, but you would do the same thing. Line it up, pick it up with your plate. And for this, I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black. Ink that up and stamp it down. And that gave a very nice impression. So that finishes this layer of our card. Set it to the side to dry. And then I'm going to finish up the inside of the card, which is the same exact measurement. So I'll just put it down in the same place, this time putting the magnet down at the bottom. And I'm using the stamp that says wishing you a lovely day. We can go ahead and ink that up. I mean, it doesn't have to be attached when you ink it up. Then put that in. I think it needs a little more, so we'll do it again. Another advantage of the Stamparatus, if you don't get quite the coverage you like, you can just do it over again. Oh, and they're perfect. Okay, now we're done with our stamping. Next is the alignment, I have to say, on this card is a little tricky, but not too bad. What I'm going to do is take my panel with the flower impression, and I'm going to put it on my grid paper here and line it up and mark with a pencil where it belongs. You'll see why in a minute. Let's line up the bottom. And then I'm going to take the die that I'm going to use to cut out our top layer, and I'm going to lay it over our stamped image and decide where I want my cutouts to go. And that looks pretty good to me. So then what I'm going to do is take my pencil and mark around the edges of the die. I know this looks tedious, but it really doesn't take that long. And you can make a gazillion cards, and they all turn out really well, where if you tried to line this up every time, you would, just trust me on this one, you go insane. Believe me, I tried. And this was the best thing I came up with. Okay, so then take this out, and your front panel, the one we're going to be cutting out, is thick Whisper White. I made it thick because I want it to, it's going to be cut out and I'm going to pop it up. So I wanted it to be a little sturdier, and I'm going to move this up a little bit because I, as you can see, this is not at the bottom of this card. It's up in the middle. So we're just going to move it up a little bit. We're going to put the Whisper White on front of our other drawing, and we're going to try to have it equidistant on each side. And then you can just stick something on there to hold it down. It might not be such a bad idea. Here, I have a scissors. We'll keep that there. We're going to take our die, and we're going to place it on our cardstock, and we're going to match the ends up with the drawing we made. And then we're going to take some Post-it note or something, and you're going to adhere your die to the paper, and then you're going to go cut it out in the Big Shot. So, okay, take that, cut it out in the Big Shot. Ooh, a miracle. Here we have one already. So, okay, we're going to take this piece, and we're going to use our embossing folder. We're going to line this up, ending wherever you want your ribbon to go, which I like kind of towards the bottom, like this. And then I also prefer the other side of the impression. So we're going to go this way. So the Stampin' Up! Would be in the back. Go ahead and put our sheet in, lining it up. I'm a little anal about this, but I like it to be the same side to side and totally straight top to bottom. You just line it up however you want it. Take this, put it through the Big Shot, and miracle of miracles. Here's one, already done. Okay, so now we're finished with all the stamping. We just need to assemble. So what I like to do is put the inside in first, and I just use SNAIL for that. Or glue, whatever you prefer. There we go. Then for the front of our card, if you notice, the thick Whisper White is a little bit bigger than the other, and I did that to give us a little wiggle room just in case we don't quite get everything totally right. The way I'm gonna take care of that is I'm gonna put a little piece of double-sided tape on here. Then I'm going to line everything up. Oops. Line it up for the best fit I can get and press it down. Then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to again take my pencil and mark where I want to cut this. And actually, you can just leave this in place. And then I would get maybe a larger scissors and just cut on that line. There we go. And hopefully it should line up the bottom layer. You can just take off that other tape. And that's actually not bad. Normally I would mount this and then put this on, but I'm just gonna do it the other way around. I'm gonna put my dimensionals and my bottom layer down. And then, oh, actually before we do that though, I forgot we have to put some ribbon around it. So let's get our ribbon out and a little bit of regular Scotch tape. I like my ribbon to go kind of towards the bottom here, so right about there. You just want to make sure you cover up the seam between the embossing and the non-embossing. And then just press it down. There we go. Okay, now you can put your dimensionals on, and I probably would use a few more than I normally would, just because this is embossed, which makes it a little flimsier than normal. So for sure in the corners, and probably a few more around than normal. Then probably the trickiest part of this whole thing is lining these up, because you want to make sure that your outside line, well actually probably lining up the outside is the easiest way to go, because we already made sure that it was kind of okay. Oh, that worked pretty well, gotta say. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to put this on our card front, and you can just use glue or SNAIL or tear and tape or whatever you want. Okay, here we go. Line that up. And there you have it. Birthday wishes. Wishing you a lovely day. And where's my envelope? Goes with that. And then, as I said, it's easy to convert this to a Valentine card. For this one, I used, oh wait, forgot one little detail. My very last finishing thing. I'm going to put some pearls on here. So I'm going to put one pearl up here in the middle of this flower. I'm going to put another pearl over here somewhere, and then one next to the greeting, or yeah, the sentiment down here. And another thing I sort of forgot was my lovely little rest of my bow. Just tie a half knot here. I was kind of skimpy with my ribbon here, but I think we can make it work. When we're done, I'll probably get a slightly larger piece of ribbon and do this over again, but you'll get the general idea here. There we go. Yeah, that's too skimpy, but we'll take care of that in a couple of minutes. You get the idea. Okay, so there's that one. And then to turn it into a Valentine's Day card, I used a lovely lipstick, and for my sentiment, I did Sent with Love. I believe that's from Itty Bitty Greetings. And on the inside, I did Happy Valentine's Day, and that's from Meant to Be. So, birthday card, Valentine's Day card, and once you do the first one, the rest of them are very, very easy. So I'll show you the inside of this one, Happy Valentine's Day. And there we are. Hope you enjoyed these cards. Hope you give them a try. If you don't have a Stamparatus, get one. Do yourself a favor. I'd love for you to buy it from me at marciascrafts.stampinup.net. But if you don't buy it from me, buy it from somebody. Do yourself a favor. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. If you liked the cards, give us a thumbs up. You might even subscribe to the channel. We try to send out something twice a week. Anyway, oh, and I forgot to say, to color the pearls, I just used this Calypso Coral dark marker. And for these, I just used the dark, lovely lipstick Stampin Blends marker. Okay, that about does it for me. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. See you soon, I hope. Bye.